evening, I'm Steve Hensley. It's quiet out there right now, but strong to severe storms are possible tonight, but especially tomorrow across the state. This is a severe weather alert day, and meteorologist Evan Hatter has more on what to expect. Evan?
Well, Steve, we continue to see the quiet weather outside tonight. However, we do still have a chance for some stronger storms this evening and definitely as we head into tomorrow. Outside right now, you're thinking, what storms? What are you talking about? High knob camera UVA wise, low to mid 70s outside right now. Just some fair weather clouds moving on through. Mountain Parkway at Slade. It's a beautiful sunny scene out along the Wolf Powell County line right now. It's looking great. Temperatures, they're on the toasty side, low to mid 80s area wide at this hour as we continue to watch an increase in showers and storms, mainly to our west. That's where the big concentration has been. We've tried to get a couple going here in the mountains, but thus far they just haven't been able to break through that cap above us. However, right on top of downtown Louisville, they're getting quite a few showers and thunderstorms right now. Look at that big spin out to our west. That's a big-time low pressure sitting over basically Wichita, Kansas right now. That's going to continue to scoot off to the north and east. You already see strong to severe thunderstorms coming from it, from Alabama into Tennessee. So keep that WYMT weather app handy as you head into the next couple of days. You can scan the QR code in the upper right-hand portion of your screen. That will take you to a link where you can download the app for your iOS or Android device. You open it up, you scroll through the forecast, you get the latest from us, which has temperatures in the 60s tonight as our shower and storm chances look to continue. I'll have the very latest, though, on when the bulk of the storms move in coming up in just a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. We now know the 18-year-old who opened fire in a Texas elementary school barricaded himself in a single classroom to carry out one of the worst school shootings in U.S. history, leaving a community in a state of shock. CBS's Aaron Jones is in Uvalde with the latest.
Investigators swarmed the streets around Uvalde's Robb Elementary School, the site of the nation's latest heartbreak.
It is intolerable and it is unacceptable for us to have in the state anybody who would kill little kids in our schools.
Texas Governor Greg Abbott says 18-year-old Salvador Ramos posted on Facebook before shooting his grandmother and then barging into a fourth-grade classroom with an AR-15 assault rifle. Police say that's where he killed 19 children and 2 teachers.
The shooter was able to make entry into a classroom, barricaded himself, and at that point, it just started shooting children and teachers that were inside that classroom, having no regard for human life. Just a complete tragedy.
After confronting and killing the shooter, police went to his home and found his grandmother clinging to life. A neighbor says the shooter moved in with his grandparents because of troubles at home and described him as quiet and hard to talk to. His motive unknown. As the FBI went door to door speaking to neighbors, investigators revealed the suspect had legally purchased 2 rifles soon after turning 18.
There has been no criminal history identified yet. He may have had a juvenile record, but that is yet to be determined. There was no known mental health history.
After an agonizing wait for information, all families have now been notified of their loss, including relatives of 10-year-old Eliana Garcia.
She was very sweet.
President Biden, after pleading for new gun restrictions, will visit Uvalde as soon as this weekend, hoping to bring comfort to the heartbroken. Aaron Jones, CBS News, Uvalde, Texas.
2 law enforcement officials say the gunman got into a fight with his grandmother yesterday morning before shooting her, then taking her car and carrying out the massacre. Pope Francis is offering his prayers and condolences after the mass shooting in Texas. Speaking on the tragedy this morning, the Pope said, quote, "My heart is broken." He called for harsher gun control and a commitment to help prevent attacks like this from happening in the future. Anguished parents in Uvalde, Texas are grieving the loss of those 19 children. It's the latest gun massacre in America, this time striking a close-knit, mostly Hispanic and Latino community. 2 adults were also killed in the rampage, as we have reported. Siri Arizmendi broke down in tears remembering her 10-year-old niece, Eliana Garcia.
She was very happy and very outgoing. Loved to dance and sing and play sports. She was big into family, enjoyed being with the family.
The family received confirmation of her death late last night. Officials say her body, along with those of the other victims, have been removed from the school. All of the victims' families have now been notified. Authorities say all of the dead and injured were in the same 4th grade classroom. The latest school shooting has, of course, reignited the ongoing debate over gun control legislation. Democrats on Capitol Hill say they are unrepentant in their demands that now is the time to pass new laws to try and prevent more mass shootings. Democrats would need 10 Republicans to join them to pass new legislation, and they do not have the votes. Republicans say the Senate should be focused on mental health laws. Well, on our website right now, we're asking for your opinion and if you support stronger gun laws. It's been a pretty split vote all day long. Right now, about 48% of you say yes and 51% say no. You can still tell us your opinion on WYMT.com. One Kentucky doctor we talked to says having conversations with your kids about a mass shooting can be difficult. WYMT's Dakota Maker shares tips on how you can help your child understand and cope with what happened.
21 people, including 19 children, are dead following a shooting at an elementary school in Uvalde, Texas. Behavioral health specialist Dr. Jonathan Martin says these horrific incidents could be hard to talk about with your kid.
You want to keep things as simple and as factual as you can, and also just keep in mind like who you're talking to and like the developmental level and the age.
He says do not force the conversation and talk about what your kid wants to discuss. Tailor the conversation around the development level and age of your child.
They have a harder time processing thoughts and feelings and communicating those. And so focusing on that part will help in the long run.
Make sure you keep the conversation factual, but do not overshare the details of an event.
Open it up for discussion. I think they can direct it in a lot of ways, and you want to focus on the parts that they are bringing up because that's what they need at the moment.
If your kid is anxious about going to school, he says keep your normal routine and try to disconnect.
Professionals are taking care of it. They're looking into it. You can be watchful. You know, there's safety precautions in place at all schools and things now for this kind of situation, and just, you know, have that in the back of your head.
Dakota Makeris, WYMT Mountain News.
The Kentucky Education Association released a statement on the massacre saying in part, quote, "For every teacher and school employee who walked into a public school this morning with a heavy heart and concern for their students, we are with you." Governor Andy Beshear has directed that flags at all state office buildings be lowered to half-staff until sunset on Saturday, May 28th, in honor and remembrance of the shooting victims. The governor encourages people, businesses, and organizations throughout the Commonwealth to join in this tribute. Flag status information is available at the website located at the bottom of your screen. Thousands of servicemen and women are headed to the Big Apple for the city's big Memorial Day celebration, Fleet Week. After a 2-year hiatus because of the pandemic, it is a sign of a return to normal. The tradition began more than 30 years ago as a way to honor members of the U.S. Navy, Marines, and Coast Guard. It's an opportunity for New Yorkers to thank them for their service and also their chance to inspire the next generation. The event kicked off today. There will be a parade of ships up the Hudson River, ship tours, displays, and demonstrations in Times Square. Homes, vehicles, and the Ukrainian town of Pokrovsk infrastructure was damaged after being hit by airstrikes this morning. At least one strike left a 10-foot deep crater near train tracks and what appeared to be still smoldering rocket remnants. A row of low terraced houses located near the strike suffered significant damage. The full extent of damage to the town is still being assessed. A local said that this was the second time rockets had hit the town, and say after the first attack they patched damages with wooden planks. After the latest one, they say everything was destroyed. Several members of a Romanian fraud syndicate have been sentenced in Lexington courtrooms for their part in scamming Americans. The scheme involved taking advantage of victims who thought they were buying car parts via Amazon, AutoTrader, eBay, and others, but the products did not exist. In 2014, the syndicate reportedly employed an anonymous person in Kentucky who laundered the money for the criminals, but they eventually became a confidential informant for investigators. The syndicate made more than $2.7 million through scamming. Johnny Depp never pushed Kate Moss down the stairs. That's what she told jurors today. The supermodel testified virtually from England in Johnny Depp and Amber Heard's ongoing defamation trial. Moss is a rebuttal witness after Heard's testimony about rumors that Depp hurt Moss when they were a couple. But Moss said today those rumors were not true. She told the court she had a romantic relationship with Depp from 1994 to 1998. And on a trip to Jamaica, she hurt her back when she slipped down some wet stairs.
We were leaving the room, and Johnny left the room before I did, and there had been a rainstorm. And as I left the room, I slid down the stairs, and I hurt my back. And I screamed because I was because I didn't know what had happened to me, and I was in pain. And he came running back to help me and carried me to my room and got me medical attention.
Moss's testimony lasted for less than 3 minutes, and she was not cross-examined by Heard's legal team. A Louisville third grader got the attention of the Kraft Heinz Company after she wrote a song about her love for mac and cheese. Now Lila Andrews has a record deal. Lila was surprised yesterday at her home by company officials, family, and friends with the record deal. When asked what inspired the song, Lila said, "I was just kind of hungry." Coming up on Mountain News at 5:30, do you have some travel plans coming up? We'll have some tips on how you can save money when planning your next getaway.
But first, we're not done with storm chances as we head into the day tomorrow. I'll time out our cold front and when strong storms are possible. Straight ahead.
WYMT News app offers alerts on break